Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. So today I will discuss a most important bill, that is Waqf bill, and it is controversial nowadays. So it is important to discuss. Okay, so I will discuss in this lecture one by one everything, and it will be a detailed lecture, and nothing I will try to skip. I will try to cover all the things related to Waqf bill, Waqf board, and all these things in this I will cover. Okay, so let us what topics I will covering. I will be covering in this lecture will be uh, uh, first thing I will discuss the what definition of work bill means, what is work bill, and second thing I will discuss work board. Okay, and the history of work acts. Okay, now what is the nature of work property and power granted by the work act. So some authority declare some property power, or we can say there will be limited judicial intervention also. So I will discuss one by one. Next thing, dispute related to Waqf and lack of transparency, accountability, all those things, and comparison with other religion institutions and political communal aspects. Okay, so everything will be discussed in detailed manner. Okay, so next I would like to discuss constitutional concerns. So like article 14, that is equality before law, and property under article 300A. Okay, that is property rights under article 300A, and what is the conflict with the secularism and equal treatment. Okay, all those. So judicial interventions are there: Supreme Court and High Court judgment, intervention of work powers, and landmarks rulings after affecting work cases. So social and what is the social and economic impact. Okay, so all these like how community are affected, and land owners ownership concerns, and impact on local development and investment. So and why need for reforms. So demand for transparency and accountability, definitely, and uniform laws for all religious trust, and public suggestions and government reviews. So and last and not least, but I will discuss public awareness and media. So what is covering, and what should be the awareness for the public, and what should media deal with this. So all these things I will discuss in detailed manner. So you will learn everything in easy language. Okay, so because my language is not hard and fast, and not tough language, so I will make you understand in a easy and very simple way. So let us move, or let us discuss one by one everything. Okay, so first thing I would like to define waqf. Okay, so waqf, you know, uh, is an Arabic word, right, which means to stop or to hold. Okay, so in Islamic law, that is Sharia, okay, and that work refers to permanent dedication of property, or you can say assets by the Muslim in the name of Allah, or for you can say religious or charitable purpose. So something which is important is who can create waqf, and any Muslim individual can donate a part of their property as a waqf. So why is it created? So uh, behind this there is reason, and the reason is to benefit society, such as a building of mosque, madrasa, Islamic school, that is okay, that is madrasa, and hospital, orphan, and graveyard, helping the poor. All these are the purpose. So who manage it? So definitely work is created. Once the work is created, the ownership is transferred to Allah, but practically it is managed by a person or organization called mutawali, or you can say caretaker. Okay, you can say caretaker. So in India, if we talk about it, in India, a state Waqf boards manage most of the Waqf property, right? So, uh, there is many questions. One of them is, can it taken back? So, no work is irrevocable. Once a property is declared Waqf, it can't be sold, gifted, or inherited, right? So, for example, suppose a person donate a piece of land to a build mosque, and that land becomes Waqf property, and it belongs to Allah, and its use must always remain for a purpose of building welfare. Sorry, we can say public welfare, okay, or you can say religion. So this is the thing, okay. Now buckboard. So firstly I would like to discuss what is buckboard. So a buckboard is a government recognized body. Buckboard is Waqf, okay, Waqf board. Waqf board is a government recognized body that manage, protects, and supervise Waqf property in a particular region, usually at the state level. So it ensures the Waqf property are used only for the religious or charitable purpose for which they are donated, right? So the main motto was donation. Main motto of donation was something else and doing something else, okay. So now I would like to discuss types of Waqf board types. So if we talk the types of Waqf boards, there may be state Waqf boards, central Waqf councils, CWC, and these are the types, okay. So state Waqf boards, every Indian states with a significant Muslim population has its own boards. So and next is central Waqf council, CWC, an advisory body. It is an advisory body under the Ministry of Minority Affairs, Government of India, and which oversees all the state Waqf boards. So this is the central CWC, central Waqf council. So what is the main function of Waqf boards? Main function of Waqf boards are register and record Waqf property. Register and record of Waqf property, prevent illegal sale, misuse, or encroachment, appoint or approve mutablis, or we can say caretaker, right? Collect and manage income from Waqf lands and buildings. So use the income for public welfare, like running madrasa, hospitals, schools, etc. So what is the who is authority and what is the power, okay. So Waqf boards have been given legal powers under the Waqf Act after 1995, and in 2013 amendments were there, such as declaring property, right? Declaring property, okay, and reclaiming Waqf property if encroached, right? Not taking action without always require court approval, right? Now what is the issue of a controversy? There is controversy, nowadays there is controversy, and what is the issue behind it? So there are some concerns raised, include allegation of corruptions or favoritisms, and declaring private property as a Waqf without proper investigation, and there is a lack of transparency and limited public access to records, right? So these are the issues which are faced by people, and there are some concerns, okay. So this is the thing which is important, right? Now next, what is the history behind Waqf acts in India? So the management of Waqf property in India is very governed, or you can say in India is governed by a specific laws known as Waqf acts. No, okay. So over the years these laws have gone through several stages and amendments to regulate and empower Waqf boards, right? And the Waqf Act of 1954. So, in this, there was the first national level legislation to manage Waqf property after independence, right? And it led to the formation of state Waqf boards across India, and it focuses on registration, protection, and the utilization of Waqf property, right? So, uh, you know. mm, it had loopholes, right, and weak enforcement, which led to many property being encroached, or something you can say misused, right? So the Waqf Act of 1995, the major revisions and replacement of the 1954 Act. Okay, so main intention was strengthen the power of Waqf boards. So made registration of all Waqf property compulsory. So in this amendment, it was the motto. So gave Waqf boards the authority to take legal action against encroachment, and introduced Waqf tribunals for dispute resolution civil instead of civil courts, right? So this is important. Now, you know there is formation of Central Work Council, CWC. So in CWC, to advise the government and oversee the states. So this is the function of CWC, right? And the Work Amendment Act 2013, that is Work Amendment Act. So in this act, gave even more power to the Waqf boards, okay, and it made easier for Waqf boards to declare any land as a Waqf property, and limited people's ability to challenge such decision in regular courts. Definitely there is a restriction in court also for the people, so definitely this is not good for people. So allowed Waqf boards to reclaim, or you can say demolish a structure built on the Waqf land, and even if the occupation, or you can say, had legal documents, definitely in that particular situation also there is a limitation for the people, okay. So mandated all the government departments to check with the Waqf boards before acquiring land, to see if it is Waqf property, Waqf property, right? So there are some concerns that emerged, and that concerns are: first thing is overreach of power. So Waqf boards can declare land as a Waqf with limited challenges. Now, people losing their lands without any hard, right? And there is lack of judicial remedy. Waqf tribunals have the final say in many cases. So this is not good, okay. And there is no similar law exists for other religious, like community examples, for example temples, church, and gurudwaras, etc. So this is thing, okay. Now let's understand the nature of Waqf property. What is the nature of Waqf property? How we can recognize the Waqf property? So firstly, we have to understand what is Waqf property, right? So Waqf property is any movable or immovable assets, mostly land or buildings that have been permanently donated by a Muslim, or for a religious, or you can say charitable or community welfare purpose under Islamic law. So once declared as a Waqf, the property belongs to Allah in beliefs and can never be sold, gifted, or inherited. So it must be used only for religious or social welfare, or you can say social goodness, right? So this is the nature of Waqf property. And types of Waqf property. How many types are there? of Waqf property. So first thing is religious Waqf. It may be religious Waqf property, and next maybe charitable work property, and next thing maybe private work property, or you can say family work property. So private work property, right? So these are the types of work property, and let us understand one by one. So first thing is religious work. So it is used for mosque, graveyard, madrasa, etc. And if we talk about the charitable work property, so definitely for like hospital, orphans, education purpose, like schools, college, and all, university. Okay, so feeding the poor. So something like feeding poor, this is also comes under charitable work, right? Now private or family work. So for helping relatives, or you can say descendants, allowing under certain condition in Islamic law, this come under private work. So this is the types of work property. And now move to some examples of work property, like a plot of land donated to build a mosque, and commercial buildings where rent is used to run a madrasa. Okay, now some graveyard, or you can say dargah land maintained by Waqf board. So something which is important, I would like to discuss, that is Waqf board. You can know, you can understand, a Waqf property can be public or private, but once declared, it's under the supervision of mutawali, or you can say caretaker, or Waqf boards, right? So most Waqf property in the India are immovable, right? Immovable. So it can definitely, land cannot be moved from one place to another place, building cannot move from one place to another place. So such most of the things are immovable, like building, land, shops, etc. So there are our you can say 5 lakh registered work property in India, and third largest land holding body after the military and railway, right? So there are some controversy and some issues, okay, related to Waqf. So sometimes property that are already owned by others get declared as Waqf by mistakes or misuse. So there are many cases of illegal encroachment, where people build or occupy Waqf land without permission, right? So this is the important thing. And some old Waqf records are unclear, okay, because there is not proper evidences, or you can say there are not clear cut records, right? So leading to dispute between citizens and as the Waqf boards. Okay, so this is important, right? Now let's move next. I would like to cover power granted by the Waqf Act. So by the help of Waqf Act, some authority given some power. Okay, and the Waqf Act, especially after the 1995 and to 2023, 2013 amendment, gives the significant legal powers to Waqf boards to protect, and even take control of property declared as Waqf, right? Declared as Waqf. So what is the major powers of the Waqf board? So power to declare any property as Waqf, power to, so you can understand, or you can just imagine here the word power to declare any property as Waqf, right? So Waqf boards have the authority to identify the declare any land or building as Waqf property. If they believe it was once donated, it was donated, right? It was donated, or you can say buildings as Waqf property. If they believe it was donated or religious purpose or charitable purpose, definitely this can even include property that are currently occupied by the individual or family, right? Now power to reclaim land. So if a property is declared Waqf, the board can issue a notice to vacate, okay, take back possessions of the land or buildings, remove encroachment even with police help, and there is limited there is limited judicial challenges also. So once the Waqf board declare a land as Waqf, the owner cannot directly go to the regular civil court to fight the case. The person has to approach Waqf tribunals, which is a special type of court, and this limits the legal rights of ordinary citizens and delays justice in many cases. Power to demolish or evict. So, if a construction is found on Waqf land without approval, the Waqf board has the power to demolish the structure, evict the occupant even if they have documents or even been living there for years. So uh, there is control over transfer or lease, we can say. Work property cannot be sold or transferred without a special permission. So even lease the property for business or commercial use requires approval from the Waqf board or the state government, right? So power to appoint or remove mutabli, or you can say caretaker. So the board can appoint someone to manage work property called mutabli, or you can say caretaker. Okay, so they can also remove or replace them in case of corruptions, negligence or misuse, right? So they why these powers are controversial? Definitely sometimes genuine property owners lose their land due to old or unclear work claims. Unclear unclear work work claims, right? So definitely there are some issues. Okay, and the law gives more power to the work boards than the other religious trusts like temples boards, okay, have. So people demand more transparency, judicial review and balance law for all the community. Okay, so this is all about uh, okay. Now next thing I would like to some disputes related to Waqf. So definitely Waqf related disputes are becoming increasingly common across India, and these disputes often involve conflicts between the Waqf board and individual family or even government bodies over land ownership, usage and rights, right? So land ownership conflicts. So biggest issue that is Waqf boards declare private owned land as Waqf without clear evidence. So there is no clear evidence. Okay, so without clear evidence Waqf boards declare private, right? So this is not a good thing. Now or you can say this is biggest issue. So sometimes family live on land for decades, but suddenly it gets listed as work in government records. So this is the mistake, right? The owner may not even know until a notice or eviction order arrives. So the historical or you can say ancestral property disputes, definitely many work claims are based on old vague records, right? Like from Mughal or British times. Okay, so in several cases there is no clear proofs that a property was even donated as work, yet it gets added to the workplace, right? So this leads to the legal or you can say emotional battles over ancestral homes and farms, right? So encroachment and illegal occupations. So some work lands are illegally occupied by individual, business or even government buildings. So work boards often file cases file cases to evict the encroachers, which creates legal conflicts, right? So in other cases innocent peoples are accused of encroachment when they had valid documents, right? They have valid documents. So valid documentation. So there is valid documentation. Instead of this they declare work property, right? Now dispute in leasing and uses. So work boards lease land for shops, buildings or housing. Disputes arises when tenants and they don't pay rent. So use property for wrong purpose, overstay their lease. Sometimes internal corruptions in leasing deals with deals also cause problems, right? So there are some legal complications, and the dispute can be taken normal civil courts. They go to buck tribunals, which many people feel are biased or slow. So even when someone wins a case, execution of orders can take years. So inter-community disputes, definitely some disputes involve non-Muslim owners or tenants, especially when property is suddenly claimed as Waqf. So this leads to tension, misinformation, and even communal arguments, right? So especially on social media or in local politics. So this is important, right? Now next, I would like to there are some lack of transparency, okay, and accountability in work boards. So one of the most serious concern is raised by the citizens and activists, we can say. There is lack of transparency and public accountability, and also proper records keeping, okay, in mismanagement, okay, of work property. So there is poor record maintenance. Many work property are not properly registered or updated in government land records. So old documents, some from the Mughal or British era, are often used to claim land, even if modern land records say otherwise. In some cases, two different owners like Buck board and private individuals claim the same land, right? So there is no open access to property list. So you know, although work boards manage over 5 lakh property across India, and the list of property is no easily available to the public, right? So citizens often don't know if their land is listed as work until a legal notice is issued, right? So many state work boards don't have active or updated websites with land details, right? So right to information denied, or you can say when people file RTI application to get details about the work land, many are rejected. So there is reason behind this. So the reasons often given: the work board is religious body, so it is not fully under RTI laws. So this is this is reason given, okay. This creates serious lack of transparency or accountability, you can say, especially when property is being claimed as work. So there are some allegations of corruptions and misuse also. So several media reports and audits have pointed out some illegal land sales, and there is benami sampati, you can say, or benami property, right? Or you can say fake deals, right? So there is uh, collusion. If someone you can say collusion between boards of official and land mafias. So there is collusion between boards of official and land mafia. So in such cases, work land has been sold or rented at very low prices, causing huge losses to public welfare, right? So this is the thing. And there are no audits or poor audits, or right? So many work boards fail to conduct regular financial audits, and even when audits happen, the board are not made public or acted upon, okay. So this this corruptions, or you can say this allows corruptions and misuse to go unchecked, right? So a lack of accountability to the public definitely unlike temple trust or gurudwara committee that often include community members, right? And Waqf boards are seen as the politically influenced and less responsive to public concerns. So this is the there is no public hearing process, right? And before declaring land as Waqf, right? So this is the thing which you have to keep in your mind. Now I will discuss some comparison with other religious institutions like temples, church and gurudwara. So one of the major debates around the Waqf Act is the unequal treatment of religious property in India. So let's compare different religious property as managed, right? So first thing is Waqf property, that is Muslim charitable trust, right? Now this is governed by Waqf Act 1955, amended in 2013, and managed by state Waqf boards and central Waqf council, right? And power given, that is can declare any land as Waqf property, a strong legal protection from sale or transfer, limited judicial review, only Waqf tribunals can handle disputes, no fully accountable under RTI, and often no public consultation. And now Hindu temples and trusts, so governed by different state specific laws. Example, Tamil Nadu Hindu religious, or you can say Hindu temples trust, temple trust Hindu temple trust. So it is managed by government appointed boards in some states and some private family trust in other. And power given is temple's land is usually registered and transparent, and RTI applies fully, right? RTI applies fully, and judicial records is available to citizens. Now issues, so there are some issues. Some states government control temples income, which has led to protest and demanded for autonomy, right? So churches, or you can say Christian institutions, so governed by Indian Trust Act, a Society Registration Act, or a specific church laws. So it is managed by church bodies like dioceses, independent trust or NGO. And power given is churches manage their own property. RTI applies if receiving government aid, can go to regular courts for property issue, right? And in case of Gurudwara, there is Sikh institution, and it is Gurudwara. You know, it is one second. Gurudwara. So in case of Gurudwara, Sikh institutions are there. Okay, and it is governed by laws like the Sikh Gurudwara Act 1925 in Punjab, right? And it is managed by SGPC, that is Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee, Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee, okay, or local committee, right? And power given, so power Gurudwara have internal democratic elections for their boards, and funds and records are often publicly available, right? So this is good thing. Now the dispute can go to civil courts, this is also good. So this is how we can compare one institution to other institution, right? So there are key differences. So first thing, features Waqf property and temples, churches, Gurudwara. Okay, so first thing, can declare lands as religious. So in Waqf, yes, and in temples, church and Gurudwara, no. So civil court access, in case of Waqf, there is limited access, or you can say tribunal only. And in case of temple, church, Gurudwara, there is full access, right? In case of RTI applicable, in case of partially, in case of Waqf board, there is partially, or you can say sometimes denied, right? And in case of Gurudwara, churches and all, okay, temples, yes, it is applicable, right? Now public participation very limited in case of Waqf, and varies often more in different cases. So in case of temples, Gurudwara and churches. Now power of eviction, so strong with police help, strong with police help in case of Waqf, and in case of temples, church and Gurudwara, legal process required. So this is all about comparison, right? So next move to, there is some constitutional and legal concepts regarding the Waqf Act. So many legal experts and citizens have raised serious constitutional questions about the Waqf Act, especially after its 2013 amendment. The concerns revolve around the quality, justice, and fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. Now, violation of Article 14, right to equality. So, the Waqf Act gives special powers only to Waqf boards, not to boards of other religions. So, no similar law allows Hindu, Sikhs, or Christian body to declare land as a religious property with the same authority, right? So this is important. Now the unequal treatment may violate the right to equality before law. Now violation of Article 13 300A, right to property. So the Waqf boards can declare land as Waqf without proper notice or hearing. In many cases, owners are evicted from land they legally bought or inherited. So in this can be seen as the violation of constitutional rights to hold and enjoy property. Now no proper legal remedy. If definitely if the Waqf boards can declare any your land as Waqf, you cannot go to civil court. You are forced to go only to Waqf tribunals. Many say this limits the right to fair trial and justice, which is part of Article 21, that is right to life and personal liberty, right? Article 21, that is right to life and personal liberty, right? So this is all about. Now there is lack of transparency and due process. So decision made by the Waqf boards are often made without public hearing, RTI access, or you can say detailed explanation. So this goes against the principle of natural justice, where every citizen has the right to know the case against them, present their sides, be heard before action is taken, So these are the things which you must know. So there are no similar law for other religion also, because if we talk about Hindu temples and trusts are often regulated by state laws, but they don't have the power to take over land and must go through proper legal process. And many citizens and experts say this creates a religion based legal imbalance, which can be challenged under the secular principle of the constitution, right? So it is important. Now uh, so it can be misused politically, since Waqf boards are often appointed by the government. There are concerns about political misuse, corruptions, targeted land and claims. So the constitution supports independent institutions, but the Waqf boards unchecked power may go against the idea. So this is all about Waqf board, right? So next I would like to cover some demands for reforms and one nation one law approach. One nation one law approach, right? One nation one law. One nation ONOL. One nation one law, right? So this is demand for reforms. Demand for reforms, right? Demand for reforms, right? So over the years, growing public awareness and legal activisms have led to strong demands to reforms the Waqf Act, right? And you know, it is established you can say uniform legal system for all the religious property. This demand is part of the legal idea one nation one law. So what does one nation one law mean? So every citizens, okay, every citizens regardless of religion should be treated equally under the law. So all religion institutions should be governed by similar rules. So there should be no special rights or legal powers based on religious identity, based on religious identity, right? So why reforms being demanded? What is the essentiality? Okay, so equality for all is important, and equality for all means Waqf boards have unique powers that temples, church, or gurudwara trustee do not have, right? So it is clear, right? So citizens demand that no religion should have extra authority over land, law, or property, people's right. So there is transparency and accountability issue also. So people want buck boards to be brought under RTI, right to information, and regular public audits and public hearing before land is declared worth. Definitely it must be it is must, right? So protection of property rights. So protection of property rights, many property owners have suffered because their land was suddenly declared Waqf. Okay, so a reforms law would ensure that no land can be taken without fair trial, or you can say court approval, right? So equal access to justice will be there, and instead of going only to work tribunals, citizens should be able to go to the normal courts like everyone else. So this restore trust in legal system and end political misuse. So there are allegations that some work boards are influenced by vote bank politics. So a reformer, or you can say reformer reformed transparent systems would prevent political misuse of religious property laws. Okay, and there are some kind of reforms are being suggested. So those reforms are like common property law for all religious institutions, and make work boards accountable to parliament, or you can say state assemblies. Now judicial oversight for work plan declarations. So allow civil courts to hear work disputes, and now digital land records for transparency. Digital land records for transparency. Okay, and public consultation before major land decision. So this is all about. Okay, now what will be the impact of Waqf Act on common citizens? Definitely the Waqf Act originally meant to protect religious and charitable property in the Muslim community has had real world effects, definitely sometimes problematic on common citizens, especially those who are unaware that their land is listed as work property. So sudden notice to be vacate land, definitely in that particular situation, many people including farmers, family, business owners, and have received sudden notice saying your land is work property and you must vacate immediately. So this often happens without any prior knowledge, consent, or proof, leaving people shocked and helpless, right? So there will be emotional and financial trauma. There will be emotional and financial trauma. So just imagine living in a house for a generation, or you can say you are you are told it is not legally yours, it is not legally yours. So in that particular situation, people have faced court cases, evictions and demolitions, mental stress and financial losses from legal battles, right? So these are the very bad thing, right? So what difficulty selling, or you can say registering property? So if your land is listed in work records evenly wrongly, it hard to sell, transfer or build on it. So bank may refuse home loans and government official may deny registration. So this makes your land useless on paper even if you have full legal documents, right? Legal documents. Now common people, or you can say common people versus powerful system. Common people versus powerful system. Powerful system. So workforce have legal authority and government supports, while common people don't know the legal process and can't afford long legal battles. Now often don't even get a chance to speak in court, right? So this creates a sense of injustice and helplessness, right? Now fear and social tension, definitely there will be fear and social tension also. And when people lose land due to religious law and they don't understand what is the reason, okay, so it creates fear in society, anger and protest and communal tensions, right? Some feel targeted or unheard, which affects the unity and peace of the local community, right? So this is important. So this is important. And impact on development project, definitely there will be some impacts on development, on development, right? On development. So work claims have also stalled government projects like roads, metro stations, airports. If any part of land is marked as a work even by mistake, or you can say entire project can be put on hold for years. So this is important. Now some cases study, or we can say real life incident related to work disputes. So truly understand the impact of the work act, it is important to look at real life incidents. Why? Because there where common citizens, family and even government agency have been affected by work land disputes. So these these work land dispute these cases saw the serious and emotional issue, okay. So that will be the Dharavi land case. First thing is Dharavi land case. Dharavi land case. So that is in Mumbai, right? Dharavi land cases in Mumbai, and it is held in 2007. And the Maharashtra State Work Board claimed that large part of Dharavi, one of Asia's biggest slums, was Waqf land. Okay, so this creates huge hurdles in the Dharavi redevelopment project, affecting lakhs of people. Now, even government agency had to pause constructions due to land status. Now, Tamil Nadu airport constructions delayed. The expansion of Tiruchirappalli airport was delayed for years because a part of the land was claimed by the Waqf board, right? So the land was acquired and paid for by the government. Waqf board said it belonged to a mosque century ago. Now the case is still pending, blocking and major infrastructure project, right? So Madhya Pradesh farmers lost a land, okay, and in real life, or you can say in rural MP, Madhya Pradesh, farmers received notice from the Waqf board claiming their agricultural land, right? So these lands have been cultivated for generation with full documents, but they were still marked as the Waqf board based on board records, right? So farmers had to fight legal battles just to keep their lands. So another case is Rajasthan, that is private owner Sok. So in Jaipur, businessman purchased the land legally with proper registration and taxes, A few, a few years later, Waqf board claimed ownership, saying it belongs to a dargah from the 1800. Right. So the owner was shocked, and the matter is now in tribunal, and his land usage is frozen. Now Karnataka school built on Waqf land. So a private school was built in the Bengaluru with the permission from the municipality, and years later, after some years later, Waqf board declared that the land belongs to a Waqf institution. So a school management now face evictions and legal actions. Now, despite following all government procedures, so they are facing many challenges, right? So, Pune flats. No, Pune flats owners in travel. Pune flats travel in owners travel, right? So in Pune, entire residential complex was caught in legal trouble when the Waqf board claimed that the land under the buildings was Waqf. So flat owners had bought owner homes legally, but now can sell or mortgage them due to the ongoing legal issues. So this is the thing. Okay. So any citizens rich or poor can be affected. So clear because of the demand, they are demanding for clear laws, digital land records, judicial oversight, and a fair equal system for all. Okay. So you can say there should be visual, infographic, speech, or real script. Okay. So that is worked. Okay. So next thing is Waqf tribunal issues. So there is Waqf tribunal issues. Waqf tribunal issues. Tribunal issues. So Waqf tribunals were set up under the Waqf Act to handle all the disputes related to Waqf property, but in practice these tribunals have raised several concerns, especially regarding fairness, accessibility, and legal rights of ordinary citizens. Okay, what is Waqf tribunals? So a Waqf tribunals, that is a special court like body created under the Waqf Act. So it handles cases related to Waqf land dispute and tenant evictions. So encroachment are there and ownership challenges. So there are some issues with Waqf tribunals. Okay, no access to civil courts. Once a land is marked as Waqf, you cannot go to a regular civil court. Only the Waqf tribunals can hear your case. So this limits your fundamental rights to fair legal remedy. Now tribunal members not always judges. So tribunal members are not always judicial expert, or you can say judges. So in that cases, the states, they include bureaucrats or government official are not trained legal professionals. So this raise the questions about impartiality and justice. Impartiality and justice. So now slow and biased proceeding. Slow and biased proceeding. So many citizens have reported delay in hearing, unfair treatment, lack of transparency. So these are the things. So no proper appeal mechanism. No proper appeal mechanisms. No proper appeal mechanisms are there. So tribunal's decision is final. You usually can appeal in a higher court like High Court or Supreme Court. So these goes against the basic legal principle of having multiple level of justice. So there is lack of awareness and among citizens also. So most people don't even know what Waqf tribunal is until they get a notice. So many can't afford lawyers or don't understand the legal process. So political and religious influence are there. There are claims that Waqf tribunals favor Waqf boards, and the systems is seen by some political influence, especially during transition or high value classes, right? So there are some burden on innocent landowners. So even if you have full documents, registry, tax mutations, if work claims, it have to fight in the tribunals, right? So this caused the stress, expenses, long legal struggles for honest citizens. So this is the thing which you must have knowledge, right? Now they often block justice for common people, and there is a strong demands to allow civil courts access, ensure fair and independent tribunals, and appoint real judge, not bureaucrats, and bring transparency to protect every citizen's to right to justice. Okay, so this is all you must know. Now I would like to emphasize on political and social reactions to the Waqf Act. So the Waqf Act, especially after the 2013 amendment, has triggered strong reactions across India from political party, activists, legal experts, and the general public. This response slow this response saw how deeply the issue affects society, political, and idea of legal equal law for all. So, political divide on the Waqf Act. So, some parties support the Waqf Act, saying it protects religious minority and their heritage. So, other party oppose it, claiming it creates a legal imbalance. So, this discriminate against non-Muslims, allows land grabs without proper court processes. This has become a hot topic in elections, rallies, and parliamentary debates. So, vote bank politics is allegation. So, many critics believe that act is used to appease one community for political gains. So, the term vote bank politics is often used, suggesting the law is not about justice but about securing votes. So, this has led the rising distrust among other community also. So, demand for one nation, one law. Definitely, several public campaigns and legal petitions have called for repealing the Waqf Act. So, creating a common property law for all religion. The demand for one nation, one law has become a major social movement, especially on social media and in civil society. So rising public awareness and anger is must. Okay, so many landowners and citizens who faced work claims have posted videos, held protest, and filed PIL, that is public interest litigation. So these stories going very important, and okay, so this is important, right? Now reaction from legal experts. So many lawyers and retired judges say the act violates constitutional principles like equality and property rights, and the work board's power are too wide and unchecked. So this is important to know, and restrictions is there, must be there. Okay. So they recommend judicial review. Judicial review is important. Judicial review is important, and a complete reconstructing of act is important. So there is requirement of reconstruction of the act. Okay, now there is religious leader opinions, like some Muslim scholars say the Waqf system is essential for religious charity and culture, but others accept that the system needs reforms and transparency to avoid misuse and public anger, and some media and public debates are there. So according to that, news channels, YouTube, and some influencer actively covering work land issues and case study. You can say political agenda behind the law. Okay, so these are the things you must know, right? So this is all about Buck bill, and which is important to know for every citizens, for every persons, for every aware people, right? So this is important, Okay, and I request to all share among all the people, all the persons.